now the second guest of the Conversation Corner, Mr. Andy Kaufman. Oh wow, this couch is very blue. Nice to see you.
Hi Andy, nice to meet you.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Great, this is Andy Kaufman.
Hello.
70s actor and comedian.
Well, though I've done acting and comedy, so they told me, I'm not really an actor and a comedian. I see myself as more of a song and dance man.
Okay.
Just all-around entertainer. You know, a lot of people don't just do comedy or just do acting. I think what you need to do is you need to do everything that you're good at.
Very nice. Have you always wanted to be a sing and dance kind of man?
Yeah, actually, when I was a kid, my father would get very angry at me and said, "How come you're not outside playing with all the other children doing sports?" And I told him I had my own sports show because at the time, I imagined that there was a cameraman and a camera crew in my wall and that we had our own station. I actually believed we had our own station, Channel 5, I think I called it. And, you know, I had a sports show, I had a cooking show, I had a Howdy Doody on, and I asked him a lot of questions. It was just good fun, but my father said I needed a real audience, and that's when I said, gee, you know, maybe I should get a real audience. So I'd bring my sister in, and I'd sing her songs and everything like that, and I thought, gee, she likes it. I think everybody else would too.
Yeah, I heard that you started performing at 9 years old at different places.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really remember how old I was. I was always a good performer, but I remember there was one ice cream shop that I used to perform at where they paid me with ice cream, and I enjoyed that.
Very nice. So, there's been some negative press about your character, that you're a woman beater and an a-hole. How do you feel about these accusations?
Oh, you're talking about my wrestling character.
Yes.
Well, I'm not. Well, I guess if you looked at it from the outside perspective, anybody you wrestle, you're beating them, and I chose to wrestle women because I wanted to play the bad guy wrestler in the worst way, and you know the good guy wrestlers are all 6.5 feet and close to 300 pounds, and I'm 6 feet and I weigh under 100 or no, under 200, obviously over 100, but what happens is that I need to wrestle somebody my own size, so it's just an act, you know. The asshole character is an act, and I'm good at it, so you know I did it.
Yeah. We had your friend Tony on earlier, and he said some not so nice things about you.
Is it, who, Tony Clifton?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, he's a character, that guy.
Colorful.
He and I have had it out before, but that's all in the past, and I'd say we may not be the best friends now, but we're definitely friendly.
Okay. And where did you meet him?
Oh, he actually filed a lawsuit against me because I was doing some impersonations of him that I thought were very respectful impersonations, and obviously he did not think so, or he doesn't like people impersonating him. I wasn't going to ask any further than that.
Oh, very nice. So you're very accomplished. You won a Golden Globe in 1979 for insulting your co-stars on Taxi.
Yes, I've always been very good at insulting people, and you know, if it got me a Golden Globe, that means I'm really good at it.
Yes, yes. And I heard that you have a daughter, Maria Colonna, who you put up for adoption right after she was born.
Yes, I was actually 20 years old at the time, and my girlfriend at the time, she was 17, and we were not prepared. And a lot of people have said to you, how could you put it up for adoption? Well, at the time, you know, I wasn't famous. I wasn't this famous person that you see today who's done a lot of shows and who performs every weekend. And we didn't have the means to take care of a young child at the time. So, you know, there's a lot of things in people's personal lives that I think should stay personal. Like, it has nothing to do with my performance. It has something to do with my past and what happened, and we've actually reconciled, and we now know each other very well.
Very nice. Also, I hear that voters kicked you off SNL in 1982, but was it a good experience before that?
Well, that was, I thought everybody liked me in SNL, but I think they bought in too much to because in the late 70s and early 80s when I did my wrestling, I was the intergender champion of the world, and I think a lot of people bought into that was a real me and not just an act. A lot of people are very big wrestling fans, and they don't believe that wrestling is an act. And you know, to some degree, it's not an act, but to some degree, it is in fact an act. Because for me, I had set up with Jerry the King Lawler that I was this Hollywood guy who beat up women, and he was the hero because that's what his character was. His character was the hero. So I played the villain, and it's fun to play the villain.
Very nice. So you're also known for very bizarre pranks. Which one was your favorite?
Well, there are a lot of different pranks that I've pulled. One that George Shapiro, my manager, he did not like very much is I had to play Arizona State, and they were just so mad. They always kept saying, do vodka, and I just, I had done vodka every day, week in and week out for Taxi, and I would have sung Elvis for them, I would have done Mighty Mouse, but they just would not stop with the vodka, so I decided to read to them The Great Gatsby, and you know what? Some people stayed, and some of them liked it, so I don't think that was a bad performance. I think that was just a performance for the people who stayed and liked it.
That was a very good book. So I also hear you took the entire audience from Carnegie Hall out for milk and cookies using 35 buses. In my last performance, that was a big show. That was my dream since a child, was to play Carnegie Hall, the biggest stage you could play, and what I did is Santa Claus was there, the Rockettes were there, there was a whole big show. There were an old cowboy movie where I think the name of the song was Jingle Jangle Jingle, and I had a woman who was in her 90s who played back in the 1940s. She played one of the dancing girls. I had her dance, and we pretended that she had a heart attack, and then I turned into a witch doctor and brought her back to life, and I had people loving me and hating me, and I took them on an entire adventure, and then I took them all out for milk and cookies after. That's wonderful. You sound like a man who really loves your audience. I always thought that performing the way I perform is I perform, some people say it's selfish or it's wrong. I perform and I do the things that I like so that my audience will enjoy it, because some people come in and they'll pay $25 a seat or $45 a seat or whatever that venue has the pricing at, and they'll just boo me and they'll be so mean and vile and say, why are you wearing the I Heart Grandma t-shirt that I like to wear? And I just think that those people, if they want to spend their money on that, that's fine, but the people I like are the people who come and stay and they see the whole show and they see it as a whole thing, and they leave with a smile on their face, and they're my true fans, and that's who I do it for. Wonderful. Well, very nice to have you on, Andy. Thank you so much for coming. It was very nice to be on. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, you can leave now. But nice to have you on. All right.
Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand.
So though we are